Hello, everybody. I'm coming to you from my vacation. So this is pretty close to the new moon. Right now, it is May 29th, and I'm in a different time zone from where I'm going to cast this chart, but I'm going to keep the chart based on New York and the Eastern time zone as usual, even though I am in Greenwich Mean Time right now, a few hours ahead. So let's take a look at our new moon in Gemini. I also apologize that, well, the lighting is, and the camera is not quite the same as home, my usual recordings, but I'm sure that's not why you're here. You don't care whether my face is lit properly, but I do. The vanity, that sets in. But this is why. And we're going to take a look at this Gemini new moon, which happens, of course, sun is in Gemini and the moon is in Gemini. Lots and lots of communication when there's double Gemini. It's also interesting that they're going to hand down the verdict pretty soon for Mr. Johnny Depp, and he is a Gemini in a new moon. Let's just see. Let's just see if that helps him out. So let's take a look at the chart, and I'm going to put my glasses on. All right, and share the screen as usual. Let me just make sure that I am. Got the window ready. Astro.com, there we go. And let's share our screen. All right, so let's take a look here. Remember, this is based on Eastern Standard Time. If you are in a different time zone, the houses play out differently. But because New York and Montreal and Toronto, and Miami, and all kinds of places that are in my time zone, and a lot of my customers, or a lot of people that are watching are in this time zone, that's why I chose it. New York is sort of a standard thing. But again, if you're in Mountain Time, or if you're in Central Time, if you are Pacific Time, the houses and what I'm saying for the rising sign and what houses the planets are in will all shift a little bit. And if you're in Europe, it would shift quite a bit as well. So let's just take a look for what's going on for the Eastern time zone. So right away, what I see is Cancer is the rising sign, even though it's the new moon is in Gemini and the sun's in Gemini. So what would I expect of that just right there? That's the main three, the big three, they call it. Sun, moon, rising, sun, moon, rising. What is it? What's that combination do? Well, if I had the sun and the moon in Gemini and Cancer rising, that means that my sun and moon would be in my 12th house, which means it would be hard for me to bring those Gemini energies out and express them. So all of that chameleon-like, charming, witty banter, keeping up with the latest, most current news, sports, weather, music, movies, tabloids, Gemini's on top of it. Enough to talk about almost any subject with anybody, anywhere. Speak about it at one level, at another level, with this person, with that person, with your perspective, with my perspective, changing and adapting, listening to what that person has to say, mirroring back, bringing up their points. It's very fluid. It's very curious. It's very flirty and charming. And it's stuck in the 12th house, which means it's only going to come out in private. It might not even come out at all, that side. It might be sort of suppressed. It might be, often what happens in the 12th house is people either can't express those energies with people until they know them super intimately. So only with their closest people, and very often even like intimate partner, and not even like all the time, just if that side of them comes out, it's going to come out with them. Otherwise, the sun and moon in the 12th house would be extremely difficult because your identity and your needs are suppressed in that they're hidden from view in the house of the unconscious. So it means this is a person who needs people, who needs social stimulation, who needs mental stimulation, who needs to be doing many things at once, meeting many people at once, multitasking, networking, having fun. And it's stuck in a place where it's hard for them to realize, oh, that's what I need. That's who I am. It's suppressed in the house of the unconscious. So what would that do? Would make the person either really restless, agitated, possibly give them nightmares, lots of dreams, probably a Gemini combination that would lead to needing more time alone versus more time with people, ironically. Could lead to social anxiety with the sun and moon in the 12th house in Gemini. Could lead to nervous tics and twitches, like, you know, just like weird mannerisms. Because again, like all of this communication and bubbliness and stuff that normally comes out is like stuck. Where's it going to go? Well, it can go psychologically into your dreams, into your anxieties, into your fears, into your phobias, into your million and one ideas, daydreaming, but not doing them. Could go into your sleeping dreams. And that could be, they could be very active in good ways or in disturbing ways. I would say it's going to be both. Or sometimes it might disturb your mental health and give you like weird intrusive thoughts, weird flashes. Like I said, nightmares already. Jumpiness, restlessness, you know, you're always like, you're bouncing, you're nervous, you're restless, you can't sit still. That would be what I would expect of that. And then Cancer rising, Cancer ascendant is like an empathic ascendant. So this is somebody who doesn't know what they need, and they spend all their time being empathic and feeling everybody else's feelings and looking at what everybody else needs. And they'd come across very emotional, sensitive to you, and warm. And you might not even know that they have that other effervescent, witty, funny, quick-witted side once you really get to know them. So this is a person who would probably be very nice to meet, but might be quite depressed or frustrated because they feel like nobody really sees them. So is that a theme for you going on right now? Do you feel seen? Do you feel seen by people? Are you bringing out your true self for people to see, or are you playing a role or wearing a mask or a side of you that is not matching? That would be a general theme. Now also Mercury is here in Taurus, and it's still retrograde. Mercury rules Gemini, so we look at that, right? Does it help it out or does it hinder it? It's retrograde, so it's hindering. It's in Taurus, so it's thinking about security and loyalty and practical matters and money, and that's not going to help bring out the witty, charming, fun chameleon side of somebody. That's going to keep it, let's keep it more stable and even keel, like the Cancer rising. So that adds to this feeling of, oh, I'm a certain role, or I'm a certain way with people, and I'm only this other side of me that I love, but I'm only that other side of me when I'm with people that I feel safe with or close to, and that's not very often. Or it could be the person that completely suppresses it, doesn't even know it's there. But then interestingly, we've got the North Node in Taurus, which is pretty close to that Mercury. And so South Node is opposing it. It sort of helps us go towards, you know, that Taurus direction of you know, finding stability and security. But the Mercury is still retrograde. I don't know. It's not giving me a feeling that that helps us that much. It sort of keeps things too plain or too safe or something compared to what the Gemini moon wants. Although there are 4 planets in the 11th house. Now, 11th house is about communities, belonging to groups and communities. So because the activity in the 11th house of communities is in Taurus, though. This is okay. I'll explain what I'm picking up. Sorry. Okay, normally the 11th house is Aquarius. You know, you do you, I'll do me. That's your tribe, that's my tribe. This is the group I belong to here. This is, you know, I integrate with this one and that one, and I play a role and I'm committed, you know. But it's also, this is also the house, Aquarius, about how you sacrifice your own ego in order to be part of the whole. So it's not like Leo, like, this is me, look at me. This is how I am, just look at me. Aquarius is like, no, don't look at me. You know, I'm just like everybody else. But they know they're not. But they don't have to advertise it so much. They, you know, they know that they're unique and stand out. So instead, they just, you know, keep things more blended and on the down low and blend in. So basically, the house of community with 4 planets in it, including Venus and Uranus, well, you might suddenly meet some new friends. You might have some new things to go to or belong to. You might, it could even, because it's Taurus, it might even bring in some loyal friends. It might surprise you. You might suddenly join something or a group or volunteer or do something you haven't done before, that you meet new people and they might be actually quite loyal people, or you might feel like you could be loyal to them, which would be an amazing thing to have happen out of this. Why I'm sort of going, is because that's a great thing, but that doesn't necessarily honor that Sun, Moon, and Gemini, which is really like the volume is at 9 with that when it comes to socializing. You know, 4 planets in the 11th house in Taurus, it's still more, I would put it down to like a 7. So it's, you know, it'll still help you bring out that need to get out there and have more variety and see more people and talk more. But you might find like still like whoever you find or the group you belong to or the new buddies or whatever they are, it's still not quite scratching the itch of what you would like. It's pretty close though. And still it looks like, again, could be loyal, could be very nice. Now, Mercury is also trine Pluto exactly, both 26 degrees. So this adds, you know, and it's in the 8th house, Pluto. So you might actually get into some really deep conversations with these new, very down to earth, practical, nature loving, money minded, perhaps, or business minded. Just you might get into some really deep conversations with said group or new buddies, because Pluto trine, you know, Mercury retrograde here, I would say could dig up or unearth, you know, if you think of both earth signs, Pluto and retrograde, it has this feeling of like digging, you know, digging things up. That could be good. It could bond you. It could be voluntary. It could be like, whoa, didn't expect to go into that terrain, you know, but it feels positive. It's also loosely trining, you know, the North Node as well. So if you're led into some deeper conversations or terrain than usual with people in out and about or in belonging in your community or your groups, I would allow it to happen. I think it would be good. Pluto is also making some good aspects up here to Jupiter and Mars and Neptune. So we'll take a look at that in a second. But first, let's take a look at Saturn, because that is also impacting Mercury and the North Node, squaring off with it. So we have, we have, do I do the proper thing? And do I keep these topics just sort of academic and serious, you know, or do I say something that could be a little more taboo or provocative? So this is feeling so far like a moon about socializing and expanding, taking, like deciding whether it's worth taking these risks to be seen or to bring up things that go deeper with people or not. You're only going to know when you're with people how they're receiving you. So Saturn trine Mercury retrograde would be like, well, you know, generally one does this, or generally, you know, it would speak like, it would be conceptual. It would speak about things in a detached kind of way, probably try to maintain a bit the upper hand in the conversation by, you know, not being vulnerable. Whereas Pluto is the better aspect in this. Remember, it's the blue line. Saturn is the red. Saturn is the stress. So if you're trying to look smarter than everybody, if you're trying to be more informed or one up anybody, if you're trying to, you know, present some image of authority, especially like Saturn in the ninth, academic authority or religious or dogmatic authority, you're hitting Mercury retrograde and the North Node in not a good way. It might make things worse or complicate things. It might deepen or cause worse misunderstandings where there already are some. We're going to be out of Mercury retrograde in a few more days, so just hang in there. The better aspect is the Pluto. And Pluto is where you would say, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to open up and reveal something I don't normally. If it feels right, if it's like, you know what, this topic's coming up, I feel good with these people, I'm going to say something a little risky, say something a little more taboo, even if it's just for you. Talk about or open the door to topics I don't normally. That's where you'll have better success with bonding and expanding your network. So let's look at where the planets are really positive here. And the best thing we got going on is Pluto making a trine with Jupiter, Mars in Aries, and with Neptune in Pisces. Well, it's making a sextile, not a trine, excuse me. Sextiles. Trines are the best. As you see, we've got North Node, South Node in Scorpio making a nice trine with Neptune again. Water signs. Intuition is strong. Compassion is strong. That's one of the best areas of flow in this chart, is bringing out that side of you that trusts your gut, trusts your inner life. Try to overcome old hurts and have compassion. A lot of sort of healing, you know, whatever you understand to be that process of trusting yourself for healing. But I have to say that energy, even though it's one of the best in the chart, it feels like a background noise for a lot of people. They're going to be too preoccupied with the other things I'm saying. So the sextile here with Mars, Jupiter, Mars in Aries, which is very like, that's completely like fire. No patience. None. It's now. Right now, please, now. Jupiter and Mars and Aries could not be more combative, warlike. Go for it. Go for it. Jump out of the plane. Skydive energy. and also completely impatient. So even though these are sextiles and they're good, what's that mean? When Pluto, transformer, is doing well with Jupiter and Mars, who has no patience, or who is ready to jump out of the plane. I mean, some of you might be in a position where you're doing something where you are ready to jump out of the plane. You're ready to boom, take a risk. For some of you, maybe it's going to be, maybe it's going to be perfect timing to do something big. For others of you, I'd say, watch your tempers, watch your driving, watch other people around you. Now, the only good thing here is that the thing is that 12th house Gemini, sun and moon, where it's like, oh, I'm really this like charming, funny, witty, clever, quick multitasking person, and I'm just suppressed. I'm suppressed in the 12th house. Well, Jupiter and Mars and Aries is working well with that. It's the only thing in here that's touching it. But what does that mean? What's it mean is, oh, I've got all of this energy inside and it's suppressed and it doesn't feel seen. And then Jupiter Mars is the vehicle for it. And it's like, jump, impatience, shoot the arrow, bang. This is how it could come out. If you feel suppressed and then you have this vehicle that is of bringing that energy out that is so dramatically warlike, you could really hit the mark and do something amazing. Like, it's sort of like a gambler's feeling. You take that risk and you might get really lucky, or it might go really badly. Something might just explode in front of you. Something might blow up that you didn't intend. So now there's so much Taurus in the chart, though. That's the X factor, is like, how much of this Saturn square and all these Taurus planets are going to sort of, and the Cancer rising are going to be like, nah, we're just going to keep those deep feelings and those urges of wanting to risk and jump and bust out of my skin. We're just going to keep them here nice and stable, and we're just going to focus on everybody else. It depends. How much are you able to keep doing that? If you are, you'll probably be inclined to do that this new moon. Some of you, though, are just going to jump and fly, and some of you are just going to lose it. And I'm not talking about insanity. I'm talking about road rage moment, or, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to splurge. I'm going to buy this thing. If you've already thought about it, all that Taurus, well, if you've already brought the money, well, maybe it's okay. Go ahead, have fun, spend. Some of you, it'll be like total impulse buying. With all that Aries and Neptune sitting beside it, don't buy the sports car, okay? Don't, like, Mercury's still retrograde in Taurus. You don't want to be making major purchases because something seems so wow and so sexy, Don't do it. This is the kind of aspect where it's like, you might regret buying that dress. No? Okay. Enough said here. Let's go on to our tarot portion. So yes, while traveling, I did bring my tarot cards because I knew that I would still be doing some moon videos for you. I feel like this screen is fuzzy. 1 second. Is that any better? No. Okay. Well, it is what it is. It's bad lighting. All right, let's take a look now at our tarot. All right, so how else is the new moon going to play out for us? 3 of Wands, virtue. Lots to think about on your mind. Sun and Aries card. Think about, with this card, you want to think about the good ways that you need to be selfish. Yes, it can be good to be selfish. It means you have to have a strong sense of yourself. Otherwise, who are you? You're floating. If you don't have a good sense of yourself, how do you know what your true desires are? How do you know when you've met true friends? How do you know when you've met the right love partner? You don't, because you don't have enough of a self to know what fits you. How do you take care of yourself? You have to honor yourself. You have to think about what you need. Now, we're living in a time when everyone talks about narcissism. Trust me, if you're narcissistic, you're not going to need this message. But if you're a caregiver, an empath, pleaser, feeling lost, feeling invisible, you need this. You need to think about yourself. Think about what your needs are and what would be good for you right now, and try to take care of yourself. This is why I believe this card says virtue. The sun in Aries is the self. And it's got 3 wands. So you could call it, your sun, moon, rising. You could call it, your soul versus your physical body versus your mental body. You could split the trinities in different ways and break them down in different ways, but you have to think of multiple sides of yourself, and you got to take care of yourself. Next card, Queen of Wands. She's not taking any crap from anybody. If anything, she's a bit domineering or dominant, bossy. She knows how to shine. She knows how to take her place. She is going to tell you if something is off. She's going to tell you what she likes. She's going to tell you what you don't like. She's a bit demanding. This could be someone around you, or this could be something that you need to do. Again, like, don't be afraid to put yourself first right now. If you're the kind who normally doesn't, you need to. The sun. Well, things are going to go very well for you if you do. Very well. The sun is joyful. It's youthful. It has an innocence, even though it's not innocent. It's wise, but it's choosing to have hope, to have faith, to be playful. It knows that there's darkness in the world, but it's choosing to remain open and see the good in life. It's not naive. The number is 19 out of 22 cards. It's very evolved. So there's a joyfulness that you choose. There's a happiness that you choose. All righty. Then we've got the 3 of Pentacles. Back to work. Productive. Very busy. Usually this is full-time paid employment. If not, you're extremely busy and productive with it and practical, and you're going to get a lot done. And it's a great card. It's a great feeling when you're like, your day is planned. It's not overwhelming. You're getting lots done. Check, check, check off your list. You're happy with what you've done. It's a wonderful feeling. Whoops, where did I go? Zoom, where are you? Can't see myself. Sorry. There we go. All right, next card. Wow, look at this. 8 of Wands. Jumping in, taking a plunge, swiftness. It can be traveling. Definitely optimistic. Definitely active. Lots of traveling about or walking. The rainbow is there. Lots of, diversity and acceptance and good moods. And Mercury and Sagittarius and on the card, telling it like it is. Transparent, call it like it is. No pleasing, just tell it as you see it. That's another part of self-care, is to tell your truth. Oh my goodness, good cards. Geez, this is great. So we've got the 9 of Cups. So the 9 of Cups is, of course, happiness, it says. It is Jupiter in Pisces. It's a card of sort of you know, celebrations. We're all getting along. Everything's flowing. Feels like a nice big, you know, wedding fountain or something. This one could be parties, could be celebrations, could be, you know, just like a jubilant kind of mood. Could be a great creative flow, harmoniousness with friends. Lovely, lovely time. Next card, King of Cups. So you've met or you're around somebody very sensitive, a bit sentimental, very caring, fatherly in a good way, romantic when he wants to be, passionate when he's in love. He's just having some trouble dealing with his emotions sometimes. He might be talking, you know, about the past too much. You know, he's still like a Cancer, Scorpio kind of card. So that's what comes with it. If you want somebody who's deep enough to hear how you feel and understands your life and your stories and your pains and your joys, you have to accept that this man has them too, and he might still need to express them and talk about them. So there's just a really nice depth in this card. A lovely guy. And we've got the 10 of Cups. So this is after the 9. It's sort of like the party's over or the party's gone on too long. This one is like a little bit tipsy or drunk or spaced out or high, or whatever you want to call it. This card is like, if you look at it like a face, look at the card, look at next to my face. This looks like a neck. It looks like a face. This looks like the head. There's a cloud around the head. This is also the tree of life. There's cloudiness around the top of the tree of life. Difficulty understanding the mind, difficulty understanding the higher paths, difficulty connecting spiritually causes you to feel tired or burnt out or overwhelmed, confused. Still not a bad card to have of all the cards. Then we end off with Venus and Aries. So we still have this message of like, you're putting yourself first here. Please, this is the big message of this entire reading. Please learn how to put yourself first in a healthy way. Man, do I ever love this reading. All right, let's take a look for each sign now. All right. So because I am away, I am not going to put the times of each sign. I have to get to bed and I have to be on a bus to a different city in the morning, which is totally exciting. But just to say, I don't think I'll have time. So let's see, what can we do as the question? Yeah. All right. How does your sign need to take better self-care? What do you need to do right now to put yourself first? All right, Aries, you're usually the queen of putting yourself first or the king of it, but let's see, are you doing it? Do you need to do more? How do you put yourself first right now, Aries? Well, this is the luxury card. I would say this means spoiling yourself. So for you, putting yourself first right now might be luxury things that you want to do. If you like spas, go to the spa. If you want to get your hair done, if you want to buy yourself something new to wear, if you like to receive massage, if you could be even napping, sleeping in. What do you consider a luxury? What makes you feel like, oh, this is great? You could just lounge around in that mood or in that all day. What is that? So that's what you do to put yourself first. You need to do something that sort of spoils yourself. Taurus, how do you love yourself? Put yourself first more. Well, you've got a very earthy card, Princess of Discs. This is definitely feeling to me that you need to get out in nature. You need to get out in the woods or walk in the fields or be in the forest. You need to go alone. You need some time alone. You need some time alone in nature. You need some time to think. As you can see, there's a big furry kind of cloak that she has that covers the ground, and the light's pointing down. It's like she wants to understand what's underneath. She wants to remove this furry cloak. She wants to see what's underneath here. She wants to go deeper, but she needs to have some space to herself and some support of the right environment. So you would love yourself more by giving yourself the right space, the right time, that you can go deeper within yourself. And that's a pretty chunky message, actually, because it's not always easy to find or figure out what are the conditions that I need in order to feel safe to open up more. You know, that's what you need, is like, what do I need? What conditions do I need to feel safe to open up a little bit more, so that you can know what you want to do next clearer, so that you can gain insights. All right, Geminis, how do you love yourself more? Ten of Wands. This is the oppression card. How do you love yourself more? Well, geez, if there's anything in your life that you find restricting or makes you feel stuck or imprisoned or like you don't have your freedom, you must get out. You've got to get out. And I can't really say that any clearer than that. It's the oppression card is like being imprisoned. It can be by anything, circumstances, the wrong job, the wrong relationship. But if you feel, and this is matching with the sun and the moon in the 12th house message. If something's blocking you from expressing who you really are, if you're not coming out and saying, this is who I am, if you're keeping something in the closet for too long, it's time to let it out. Cancers, how do you love yourself more? Princess of Wands. So you need to be more spontaneous. You need to stop overthinking everything. You need to stop worrying how everybody feels, or if you're going to feel, or if they're going to feel, if you say or do. You just need to let yourself let loose a little bit. She's just, you know, naked and jumping into the flames. I'm not saying that you do that, but you do need to have a little more of like, try not to be so cautious and so worried about everything. Let yourself let loose, have a little fun, be a little louder than usual, laugh a little louder, say some jokes. So what if somebody's offended? You're not going to die, neither will they. You know, you need to get in touch with that fiery, spontaneous, younger child energy in you and let her out. So I would say, you know, stop censoring yourself and let yourself dance, let yourself sing out loud, let yourself laugh louder, make a joke. You need it. Leos, how do you love yourself more? Okay. And I get a Leo card. Interesting. So you have the Lust card. So Leo, in order to honor yourself, you need to just trust that your passion will come through you as you're confident and relaxed. You don't have to chase after it. She's lying back. She doesn't even have a firm grip on the reins of this lion. She's holding on a little bit, but not tightly. She's not trying to control or tame the lion. She is at one with this lion. So she's just lying back. She is trusting her wild, spontaneous, passionate nature. And she's touching the source above with her hand. And she is not stressed. she knows that this will just come through her when she needs it. So again, it's like, don't overthink, don't overplan, don't worry. You got to get to this deep place where you know that your creativity and your spirit and your passion is going to flow through you when you feel the most confident and relaxed, when you're not trying. Oh, that's a great message, eh? That's a great one. Virgos, how do you love yourself more? How do you take care of yourself better? Yeah, you get the sun. So if you're not sure what the sun means, go back to the tarot part that I just did a few minutes ago. So it's, again, it's not naive, and it's not childish, and it's not innocent. It's know that the world is difficult and has good and bad. Know that the world has everything in it, and choose to be happy. Choose to have wonder and choose to have joy. That's like one of the highest messages I could think to say for anybody, but it's important for you right now, Virgo. Choose joy in this world. Find your joy. Find the sun. All right, Libras, what do you need to do for your self-care? The Emperor. That sort of stumps me, that message. Because it's not very Libra-like, and it's well, you might need to deal with a certain male authority or government or a sense of, how you relate to it. Yeah, because this Emperor is all about power. It's all about power and authority, and sometimes the misuse of it, which Libras do not. Libras don't do that. Not many Libras do that. So I would say it's probably about your own relationship to people in power or in authority, or their use of power. So how would that relate to your self-love or self-care? Pretty complex, because it could be talking about readjusting your view of the world, your paradigm about people in power. I don't know if you're getting discouraged too much about the world right now or about a certain individual. Could be control issues around your life because of a certain individual. I would say this is a deep message for you as far as like self-love and self-care. You'd have to really take a look at your relationship to male energy, male-dominated situations, what true authority, leadership, and power looks like. And you're examining, to really examine the people around you based on a new version, a healthier version of it. Big evaluation for you. Wow, I'm quite surprised. Okay. All right, Scorpios. How do you love yourself more? Three of Swords. Okay, well, ironically, Scorpio, if you want to love yourself more, you need to allow yourself to feel whatever grief or sadness you've been suppressing. You need to let the tears out to heal. You need to be okay to admit if you're sad. Self-love is like not having to be so strong all the time for everyone else. I think in order to love yourself right now, you need some sort of purging of old grief. Yeah. You might need to to mark it somehow, do something, whether that's a ritual or a commemorative measure or something that helps you, because there's still like flowers in this. Something that might help you move through these deeper feelings. Letting yourself slow down and feel is an act of love to yourself. All right, Sag, what is it going to be for you? How do you love yourself more? High Priestess. Well, for you, self-love means opposite of what Libras had. You have to embrace your feminine energy. You have to embrace your intuition, your gut feeling, your I just don't know why, but I know. Your receptivity. Very opposite to Sag. This is like stepping back and just knowing things about people, about what'll happen. This is about not having to act or push or try or go get or go after or make things happen. This is about it'll happen when it's supposed to. It is what it is. Accepting but not just accepting like, oh, well, I accepted. No, this is like higher than that. It's like, I see it. I see and I understand and I intuitively know certain things. So I accept them. Very interesting. Capricorn, how do you love yourself more? You've got the Devil card, which is Capricorn. So this right away screams to me, you have to accept your shadow side. People have asked me lately, what does that mean, shadow work? Well, the shadow is sides of yourself that you don't like. A humanness that we all have or that we're all capable of in yourself that you don't like, that gets triggered. Your shadow could be anything. You might get really cranky and crabby and snap at people when you're tired. And there's a certain side of you that comes out and it's not very nice. And that might be your shadow. And that one's pretty common and it's pretty not very fun, but it's, you can learn to manage that better. Some people, your shadow is, I don't know, getting in touch with the sort of side of us that knows anybody in any circumstance is capable of pretty much anything. There might be sides of yourself or things that you've done in the past or things that you're thinking about that you're like, ooh, God, why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why am I even thinking that? And it'll bother you. And so it's about exploring that side of you and accepting it. Not like go out and act on it. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, if it's dark thoughts, if it's crazy thoughts, if it's like, I don't know, wishing somebody ill on the news because we're tired of the Ukraine situation, let's say. Maybe you go, oh my God, oh, that's a terrible shadow to think negative thoughts towards another person, even if they've done bad things to others. It's still not right. You might think, oh my God, that's a shadow. That's terrible. That's evil of me. So the devil is just like, just bring it to light. Understand that we all can do it. Accept and forgive yourself for doing it. Doesn't mean go ahead and do more of it, but it doesn't mean stuff it back in the closet and pretend that you're not like that either. If you bring those traits that you don't like about yourself to light, it will actually help to transmute them and minimize them over time. Suppression is what makes it worse. So, yeah. Boy, deep one for you tonight. Okie doke. And Aquarius, how do you love yourself more? You've got the Queen of Discs looking off in the distance, letting other people, letting her henchman, the ram, do the dirty work for her. I'm getting a feeling right now that you're avoiding things. You're looking the other way. There's something you're running from that you need to take. She needs to turn around and look. You know, she's got her little ram going like, hello, can I help you? What are you doing here? You know, they're doing it for her because she's off looking somewhere else. She wants to be in her thoughts, or she wants to think of other things. So she's avoiding something. That's the feeling I get here. So to love yourself more, you've got to stop avoiding something and turn around and look at it. That's all I'll say. You already know what it is. Whatever or whoever you first thought of, that's what it is. Pisces. How do you love yourself more, Pisces? Boundaries. 7 of Wands, stand up. Improve your spine. Stand up. Say no. 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 Sorry, can't do that. No. You can do it nice, but you say no. Limits. I can do it tomorrow, but not today. I can be there for 1 hour, not half the day. I can do it for this much, not this much. Clear, concise, tell people where you're at, what you can and can't do, what you want and don't want, nice and calm. Let's do it. Say no. Well, that was quite an interesting read. So we have a few themes going on. We have the theme of self-love, putting yourself first in good ways. We have theme of restlessness and this bubbly inner self that needs to communicate and needs to connect and meet people. And then we have this damper on it. We have this suppression and a damper. So trying to examine, do you feel seen in your life, in your relationships, or are you suppressing yourself? If you're suppressing yourself, how can you bring this out in a good way? Either you're ready to take a bold risk, or you might blurt something out. You might need to have a little fight or a drama to let this out. Or if you can avoid it, good, but you might need it. But there's also a nice theme of community and loyalty in the community and the friends and the bonds that you now make, or that you reinforce in your communities. And that's probably the nicest part of this whole Gemini moon. So it might not happen in such a Gemini bouncy, bubbly way, but it's still happening. So I would say, don't be afraid of the depth. Don't be afraid of your shadows, and connect with people and try to just watch the temper. That's all. Watch the impulse buys, watch the tempers, and we should have a good time this new moon. All right, well, I'm coming to you from England, and I'm having a blast. Okay. So I'll see you for the full moon in a couple of weeks. Take care.